Just thinking about what we should watch. Damascus Gold is a must watch. I think the trailer montage, like the mod montage that I kind of made for Henry, is also it's just pretty hype. Like making that was a really cool experience. Definitely something classic first. So if we are only watching one classic run, it would be Damascus Gold, but we can do anything you're interested in on top of that.
I'll probably look at a few. Yeah, let's look at this. So,
All right.
of course, like disclaimer, like I've never seen any of these. I deliberately on your channel, there's almost none of the recent ones are like watched. It's because I've been saving them for just such an occasion, so I can look at them and be like, "Wow, this is insane." You know, like as I tend to do, I get very into this kind of stuff.
And the funny thing with this one is, at the start, the merchant just randomly happened to say, "You won't be disappointed," and then I got the good run.
You won't be disappointed. He's going to hurt himself.
God, I love this game. Oh yes, that's so nice.
Thank you, thank you.
Very cool. Perfect. Oh, oh. Okay. Yes. 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 Yup, yup.
What drop incoming?
Oh my god, right onto the beam too, dude. I love this game.
So I can make this.
Yes, yes. Nice. Perfect. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh!
The response drop?
Yes! Yes! Dude! Oh! You're not gonna see an average player do that. Yes! Dude! Oh my god.
A bit of a breather.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, nice, nice. Really good lateral jump as well earlier. Man, we love those reverse catch ledges.
Mm-hmm. And perfect grabs.
Yep.
The vanilla techies.
So that you lose less speed.
Yep.
Yes. 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 Okay. Yeah, I'm just enjoying this so much. Like,
I'm so glad. Had to eject there. It was irresistible.
nice. Perfect. God, the city design in this game is just amazing.
It is. That's old school tech as well.
Yeah, huge. Nice. Very, very smooth.
I love that.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, yes. God, ejecting onto the little lips is just...
Uh-huh. Because it lets you cancel.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Was that just a high profile drop?
High profile into roll into punch drop. I did
Yeah.
the roll.
Yeah, yeah.
This jump was so fucked.
Yeah. Oh. And then we sit
Guess
down.
where we are.
Right at the beginning, I think.
Yup.
God. I love this game. I just watch a video like this and I'm just like, I fucking love Assassin's Creed. Like,
Oh man.
like this reminds me why I love Assassin's Creed.
I'm so glad it does. Jace.
I love Assassin's Creed.
No, keep the typos. That would have been our character.
It was, what was it, like this? It was like this, yeah. This is the best AC parkour video on the internet. Each and every negative claim made about the theoretical limitations of the parkour mechanics in classic AC is utterly demolished in this run. It is, man! Whether it be by the precision on angles and corners, the number of optimizations and direction changes made using ejects, the manual control descents with or without vaults, or the utter refusal to rely on automated jump tracking while forging a path from seemingly nothing using catch ledge, any claim of superiority any other parkour system in the series may dare to attempt to offer against the classic system is wholly annihilated in this video. It's gonna be the video I send to people anytime they challenge any aspect of classic AC's parkour system. And honestly, he's spitting, because like, it's literally AC1. You do not go back much farther than this. It's AC1, it's the first game, it's unmodded, anyone can do this on like any system if you just understand the mechanics and get good. Like, that's it, man. It's pure. It's simple. Like,
It's so good.
it's so good. It's so good.
To clarify again, this run is vanilla.
Yeah.
This run is not modded.
No modded.
Always amazing.
Yep. Like, this is what you can do with the classic movement mechanics. Like, you don't need any mods. You don't need any kind of, you know, extra bells and whistles. It's just the game. This is what you can do if you understand the game.
Yep.
I love that. I love Assassin's Creed. Like, when you watch stuff like this, like, if you're a certain kind of person, like, it has to inspire you. You see this and you're just like, this is amazing. Like, this looks so cool. Like, like you see something, you're like, just like, this is the spirit of Assassin's Creed, you know? Like, I just love it so much.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm really glad you liked it, because I consider that to be my best like pre like mod like vanilla parkour video that I've made.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm down to check out a few more, and I mean, like, just to
Sure thing.
just to clarify as well, like, you know, that there will probably be people being like, oh, you know, you don't like Mirage that much, but like, have you given it an honest shot? Like, have you actually properly, like, you know, done your best to like extract like all the juice from it? And you absolutely have. I think we should check out these two Mirage videos. I mean, I've already.
Go for it. I think the second one is the better one. I think the second one has the most meat and basically does everything that the first Mirage video kind of did, but better and more like expressive.
So we're just gonna go for this one, you say?
Yeah, I think it's okay to go for that one.
Sick. Let us go ahead and do it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, it's just it's a vibe. Like, I personally really love Mirage because I'm fundamentally like a stealth first player, but like it's, you know, stealth is in large part like supplemented and defined by movement, because stealth is about like putting your body in the right places at the right times. And so,
And especially in AC, people often overlook this and don't connect stealth and parkour, but movement, not just in terms of game feel, but functionality and
yeah,
sets.
they're intertwined. They're
Make
intertwined.
stealth work better.
Yeah.
Also, this video, as you can see, was made when the eject mod was a thing before the update came.
Yeah.
And it was made purely like I have to make a bit of I have to admit something. I did make the Mirage videos more as a statement than something I fully enjoyed making, simply because of what I enjoy about the games in parkour. I still had fun choreographing it.
Yeah.
But this video was made as a bit of like a, hey devs, this is what this could have been.
Yeah.
And then they did it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. Like, that's a vibe. Like, that's exactly what we want. I mean, as creators, like, one of the best ways we have to like advocate for stuff and to like push for certain things to happen is to just, you know, put our effort into it and like make something that looks cool, make an example that people can rally behind, and that we can actually show to devs. I mean, it's something that I feel people overlook a little bit at the time, but devs really do actually find video proof and video footage like very valuable because it's something that they can show both to each other, to themselves, to people in charge, and yeah, it's just like really really helpful. So I'm not saying that like it's always going to like make a difference, but I am saying that it's a good thing to do because having it is better than not having it.
You know, I overall think that the illusion, or rather, let's not call it an illusion yet. The statement that AC is never changing because of obvious trends is in large part an illusion that self-perpetuates.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moment we made like a couple of videos showing how cool ejects are, Mirage got them. And that's amazing. That kind of shows, hey, you have a voice if you dare use it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's tough to say like how much is, you know, how much happens because of our actions necessarily, just because the nature of AAA is like things take a very long time to do and to like approve in AAA dev. So chances are like these ideas were already like in their heads like for quite a while, and they might have already been working on it, but with footage like this, it absolutely like gives them that inspiration and shows them like, look, you're on the right track, you know, like
And I'm also
accelerate this.
Yeah, and I'm fully confident that a lot of devs do know about this and want to have this, and simply were held back because of what some director was told to do with the game and was told to achieve with the game. No matter the hierarchy of higher ups and developers and directors and whatever.
Yeah, or even just the tools that they're given to use and the designs they inherit from previous games. Like I think I talk about this a lot, but like one thing I love about Mirage is that it's basically the best possible game they could have made given the limitations it inherited from Valhalla.
Yep.
Right? And it's like it's crazy that they achieved that like even under those conditions.
It feels really comforting, like even if it's not the most enjoyable AC to you, it feels comforting to play something that you know cared about you.
Yeah, yeah. I shouted that out in my review.
Yeah, and the thing is, like Mirage devs didn't necessarily have all the tools, as you said, or all the resources, but they've shown this came from that came from the community. I mean, Mirage did have some favorable circumstances. It was a lower budget, lower commitment game, so it probably didn't have as much higher up interference. But then again, the devs were finally allowed to say, "Hey, we hear you, we care about you." The funny thing is, if you go to the video on Ubisoft's channel that states like the 1.0.6 patch notes, like kind of update video that they uploaded,
Yeah.
the part where Basim ejects for the first time while landing on feet and gaining height is the most like watched and replayed part of the video by far.
Of course.
Fountain there on the fucking playhead.
Yeah. We love to see it. Alright, I'm gonna click play on
I hope
this.
that sent like a yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, I hope it sends a message as well, and I think it definitely must. I mean, they look at all kinds of metrics.
I really hope so.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh man, I love that.
Oof. That's so fun to block in the game.
Yeah. Gives me vibes of that AC1 tech as well.
Mm-hmm. There's a bit of that.
Being able to eject farther means you can eject to more contexts, and that makes the entire game feel more cancelable, which I think is really, really fun.
You do less to do more, and in turn you feel like there's more to like every single context you may find yourself in.
Yeah.
That loot as well. I don't know why I did that.
Nice. Oh, a cheeky little
Mm-hmm.
Vault animation there, yeah. Ooh, nice.
I think that was a parkour down eject, just saying this as well.
It's hard to tell, honestly. Like, I mean, that's kind of the issue, right?
No different.
Yeah. Nice, nice. I do love how Catch Ledge is, like, fairly functional in Mirage, like, out of the box, honestly.
Yeah, and there's a very cool trick you can do with it that's exclusive to Mirage, I think. Using slow-mo to throwing knives actually rotates you. So
Yeah.
you can only grab in front of yourself, but you can still kind of emulate omnidirectionality.
I love those flips of faith.
True, I do. As a local resident fucking troll hater, I actually like those.
God.
That was that, yeah, that was, and again, deject mod before the update even came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
So,
like that run, I'm pretty proud of that one.
modded AC2 parkour sequence. I definitely want to look at this.
Okay, how about this? This one is divided into two parts. The first one is just the parkour itself. The second one is, check this out, an Animus loading screen before the run gets rerun, Animus music, controller overlay, and Animus text boxes of what's happening. So I think you're gonna appreciate it.
That's
If you
badass.
play, like the second half.
I mean, you know I love stuff like that. I'll probably watch the whole thing, you know? Unless, like, you just recommend we start from here.
I mean, the run is basically just repeated twice. It just has an overlay on the second half, so we would be watching it twice.
Oh, okay. So
So
then,
you can kind of like,
let's say we start from, like, here-ish.
yeah.
Alright. I'm down. I'm hype. I'm ready. Do it. Ooh. Ooh. I love that. Yeah, it's like that's a volatile action, right? Like,
Yep. Easily abusable.
mm-hmm. Sick. Yes. Oh man, I love this.
I fucking love the mod.
It's really just like an extension of like the base movement system.
Yeah, it just feels like Vanilla Plus.
Yeah, yeah.
I cooked there.
You did, holy. God, this really just gives me a feeling of like, you know, the average assassin would just use an Animus to like, you know, help out the Brotherhood and whatnot, you know, seek information in the past, right? An assassin who moves like this is like an actual present-day field operative. Like,
Yeah. A drifter, if you may.
yes. Oh, yes. My god. Dude, Assassin's Creed is so fucking sick. Like,
Right?
I'm just like I've like fully stopped being able to like analyze anything I'm looking at, and I'm just like completely like emotion. Like,
That's what it's about at the end of the day.
man, I love. Yes,
Man.
I just
The
love.
thing is,
Yeah.
every single move that has like the red text means it's a volatile move. So the reason this looks like vanilla plus is because I'm very carefully using stuff that can easily stop looking like vanilla.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something I wanted to get into, and I do get into it in one of my videos, the mod guide.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the fact that if you want to keep respecting and playing alongside the rules of the AC, the spirit that AC generally has, and the rule set that it sets down for Ezio and what he can do physically in his own universe,
Right.
I really prefer seeing runs that kind of follow that property and play it as if it's something that Ezio could do.
Right.
You know,
Right.
using super hop to break jump range or using super hop to land on ledges that are kind of not really possible to land on is not necessarily something that I personally respect.
Mm-hmm.
In this video, I have one use where I land him onto a very thin ledge, but I just think it really serviced like the flow and like the meaning of the mod, as this video is sort of like a mod showcase as well as like just a very expression focused choreography. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. It's kind of like there's a different philosophy between just like uh people who adhere more closely to like the synchronization like with the assassin as opposed to like a straight up like erudito type hacker where it's like
Yeah,
you're just
let's role play it as well. Yeah.
you're like disrespecting the memory, you're like pushing the bounds, like you're as close to desyncing as possible, doing like moves that are
Yeah. Yeah.
like fundamentally like impossible and shit, like just because you're seeking like an endpoint like of the
Mhm.
simulation like as quickly as possible, like I would
And
say they both have their place, but I mean, yeah,
absolutely,
there's
absolutely.
there's a risk of like giving viewers like the wrong idea if
That's exactly why I'm like so preoccupied with it and why I keep talking about it. It's because, as we said, the reputation of facing movement is fucking fragile.
mm-hmm.
Some new players seeing super hop without knowing about what ejects are could think that that is the way to fix the game
Yeah.
as they know it, and that
Mm-hmm.
could be very detrimental,
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a huge part of why I do recommend people just enjoy and get good at like base movement first, because I mean,
Hmm.
even just by watching this video and like looking all the buttons you're using and the actions you're doing, if you haven't already like understood base movement, like
Good luck.
you just cannot really use this like extra tool set, which I think this is actually such a great like a case study for this idea I have of like an assist mode.
Hmm.
Imagine like the mid point being like base AC2, and then like your full move set kind of being like this, right? Like it's not
There
the
might even be
same.
something that's even like a middle ground where uh, instead of targeting the objects you're going for with your moves, you're targeting where you want to end up in a more intuitive Unity-like sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think
But
it's
yeah.
really, really cool. I just think that like the fact that like, you know, we have base AC movement and then we also have this mod that like unlocks even more. I think that's literally just proof that assist modes and um, you know, movement selectable movement complexity modes like literally work. Like you could actually do this. You could offer this to players in a very like real like streamlined, polished, like out of the box way
Hmm.
where we can decide like how much do we want the Animus to handle our movement, how much of our moveset do we want to have access to, and how much power feels like too much power, where it's like, I just don't want to deal with this. Like, this isn't enjoyable for me to micromanage. Let the Animus, like, I'm in a machine. Like, I should be allowed to use the Animus to, like, offload that burden and have it, like,
Yep.
manage some of my movement for me. And I think that's something that again, like it fits the universe. It fits Assassin's Creed like very diegetically. Some Animus subjects would prefer to do that, and that's totally fine.
Hmm. The thing is, this also doesn't only feed into the idea of making player experience better. it completely makes it, as we said before, like it makes people aware of what there is, what there isn't, and what they have access to.
Yeah.
And it actually trusts, the player. Hey, if you want to have more, you'll deal with more. If you choose this, it's on you to deal with it or
Yeah.
turn it off at any time.
Yeah.
And trusting the players like that would absolutely, I'm absolutely sure of it, result in the games actually uh having getting like a far wider and bigger techie community. A lot more people would start caring about movement because they know that it exists,
Yeah.
and they weren't hurt by it before they actually got to learn how to properly play it.
Yeah, because
They weren't burned by it.
one of the issues Assassin's Creed has always had is just this idea that it's a casual mainstream series, which is true, but the one of the problems that arises because of that is this perception that that's all it ever was, that's all it can ever be. It's like if you take Assassin's Creed seriously on a mechanical level, on a gameplay level, like you're kind of a clown, right? Like, oh, this isn't like Devil May Cry, right? This isn't like all these other like
Yeah.
skill games, and it's like, no, like you have no idea like what we can do with this. Like, just because you don't care about it, just because you don't think there's anything to it, doesn't mean that that's the truth. There is stuff players do in these games that would like melt your eyebrows off because like you just never knew it was possible. Like, just because you don't care about it, just because you don't think it's a thing, doesn't mean that that's the truth. Like
Yep.
there's more to these games mechanically than a lot of people give them credit for. And yet I can't even really blame them because they like Ubisoft doesn't do a good job of like reaching out to those invested and to those
That's the
hardcore players.
problem. They extend the issue that Ubisoft is at fault for, but considering the fact that it's people, there's good and bad people. There's people that are going to take it a certain way, and there's people that are going to take it another way, which could be bad.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hostility in the community when you're simply trying to explain how something works to people.
Yeah. It's
And when
it's mind-blowing.
it's so painful. Like I'm here trying to tell you this is how it works. Please listen to me. I'll make your gameplay more fun for you.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, this game is like casual bullshit." Yeah, like
It's so annoying.
it is really annoying. Yeah, I definitely think Ubisoft is at fault for it, and the way these games like present themselves
Yeah.
is at fault for it. And I think yeah, like it's horrible. Like other games invite themselves and invite players to be more hardcore and to be more invested in them.
Yeah.
Whereas Assassin's
It
Creed,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Scared of it.
Yeah, it's almost afraid of its own potential, where it's like it's scared to present itself as something that can be hardcore. It's scared to present itself as something that, there is like substance here and there is value here and there is fun factor here for those more hardcore players, for those more invested players. Like you can actually like pursue something and pursue skill expression and skill growth in this series, and it's something that like they've just never really done. I mean, I really do love to compare it to Arkham. Like when you compare like the Arkham games to Assassin's Creed, which one would you say on a surface level, like publicly, has a more hardcore player base? Obviously Arkham every single time. But it doesn't have to be that way. And it's just because Arkham is unafraid to be punishing. It's unafraid to ask something more of players. Assassin's Creed is very like afraid to ask more of its players. And like although Unity may not have been the game that we idealize, like even if it had all the dev time it needed, I do think that one of the things it would have done is Assassin's Creed would not be afraid to be demanding if Unity popped off. Because Unity is like in many ways like the hardest Assassin's Creed game because it's the most punishing. Where like if you mess up, it's like the worst for you in that game than in other games. And so
Yeah.
that being conflated with like, oh, this is a bad thing because the game was broken on a technical level, and like even after patches, like it's just doesn't really function in a wide variety of ways. Like that being conflated in people's minds where it's like it's led to this image of Assassin's Creed can never be hard. Assassin's Creed can never be challenging because otherwise it will be bad.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no, like make a hard AC game, make a punishing AC game, but like make it
It
good.
doesn't even need to be hard.
Yeah.
It's not that AC is only scared of its own potential. AC is scared of itself. It's literally scared of what it already does in the game that this sphere is presented in.
Yeah.
Like side ejects exist, ledge grabs exist, manual jumps exist, manual control is right there, and AC in general and the games that have it are still scared of admitting that they have these things.
Yeah, and I genuinely don't know why. I mean, like when you compare any other game to that, like they don't have that same thing. Like Ghost of Tsushima literally has lethal difficulty. It has like it has a mechanic that does demand excellence of the player. Ghost stance. Like, in order to access ghost stance, you have to kill 5 people without being hit, or you have to stealth kill a leader, right?
Yep.
And like that's like, think about it. Like, would Assassin's Creed ever do something like that? No. And it really makes you wonder why.
There's no reason for it. Well, there's reasons, but no valid reason.
Like, certainly, yeah. And I mean, like, Ghost of Tsushima isn't like, it's not exactly Dark Souls or anything. Like, it has tons of casual appeal. People love the game, right? Same thing with Arkham. Like, Arkham is not like, you know, soul crushingly difficult or anything. And yet it has ways to be demanding. It has ways to force you to take it seriously. You can't just like sleepwalk through an Arkham game. You have to actually try.
True.
Whereas like to a great extent in Assassin's Creed games, like like Assassin's Creed allows players to disrespect it, basically, on a mechanical level.
But it welcomes it.
It welcomes it, yeah. And I think like that's something I would love to see change, and that's something that from what we're hearing in text articles about AC Shadows, that's something I hope is true. And I mean, I think that there is a chance AC Shadows like slaps people in the face with its
Hope so.
with
I
it
want to be proven wrong.
with its stealth system, because I think what's gonna happen is, if what they're saying is true, I think Assassin's Creed players are gonna have a hard time with stealth in AC Shadows. But where that was the case in Valhalla for bad reasons because it was broken, I think that, and I hope that that's the case in Shadows for good reasons. Not because the system is broken, but just because it asks you to actually be a good player in ways that previous AC stealth kind of just didn't. Like, you can abuse previous AC stealth in a lot of ways, and you almost kind of have to in order to have a smooth and fluid experience. But in AC Shadows, like, if the kind of stuff with light and shadow and sound is appropriately tuned, I think that means that it will cost more in order to access the foundation of the system than previous games did. Yeah, and I want that to be the case. Like, I want to actually be, go into this and be like, wow, this is actually tough. Like, I'm actually bad at this. I want to start out feeling like I'm not good at this game, like when I play AC Shadows. Whereas like when I started Mirage, like, it's really fun, but I started out being good at stealth in that game. And the only real like skill expression and skill growth afterward is, can you become faster at it? And then that is also capped by movement, because you can only become so much faster at Mirage stealth, because you can only become so much faster at Mirage movement. Like, there is a hard cap on how quickly you can move through the world, which means there is a hard cap on how quickly you can stealth clear, right?
This is something I've noticed in Mirage. Actually reflects itself to many videos. The way that tools work and slow you down in movement causes scenarios where
People
I've
air knife a
noticed
lot.
yeah, not
People air knife a
but I've
lot,
just
yeah.
noticed that a lot of playstyles from fast choreos in Mirage rely on doing this. You get up to a vantage point, you like plop and drop your tools all over the place, whatever you want to do, and then you jump in.
Yeah.
And then you like now and then maybe use a tool in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, and it's a
It's just too slow
consequence.
otherwise.
Yeah, it's a consequence of quick shot not existing, basically.
Yeah, I miss quick shots so much, man.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? I think we mentioned choreography process, like, and the way you actually like make good content. Like,
So I was gonna feed the whole choreography process thing into like the whole aspect of apparent practicality and how my choreos tend to be.
mhm,
I mean, of course, 90% of a choreography is, does this look good and does this look cool to me?
right,
The other 10% is then kind of applying your own principles and what you want from your choreography, what sort of image and presentation you want it to have,
right,
and then seeing how what you've got going reflects that. So if you want something that looks relatively practical, you're going to try to emit camera angles that sometimes show very easy routes to something that you want to make your way to, or you're going to try to reroute a part of the run so that it's more engaging while still being relatively functional.
right,
And there's a lot of micro decision making you have to keep making, and there's a lot of rerunning you have to keep doing over and over and over again to see whether the run really fits what you want.
right,
The problem is, once you start seeing your run for the 100th time before you even start recording it, it stops feeling special. It's you start getting desensitized to it. It's
Yeah.
like losing your like having a bad ear after working on music for a while. You just can't really tell. Does this work well? Does this flow well? I've been doing this for 10 hours now. What the fuck do I do?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. And
That's definitely a
it's
thing.
yeah, it's a relatively big challenge, at least for me, because I overthink so much. It's
Hmm.
not that I'm just a perfectionist when it comes to like executing a run. That's something that I like have a very low like mistake tolerance for, but I really want a run to feel like okay, I that's good. That's good enough for my standards. It's so hard for me to get it that I sometimes get like large amounts of like imposter syndrome when it comes to my own parkour, and then I come back to it a couple days later and realize, wait, that was kind of good. I kind of cooked there, and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, for me it like manifests in a different way where like I do not enjoy most of my own videos. Like I have very like specific videos where I look back on it and I'm just like this is actually really sick. Like I often have this urge to just wipe most of my channel or at least unlist most of
Same.
my channel.
Same.
Just because I'm like I understand you guys like these videos and you would be sad to see them gone, but genuinely the truly good ones are like 5% of what I make.
And 5% of what gets watched. Sometimes, like the most rudimentary, mundane run that you could possibly make gets so much more attention than something that actually that you feel deserves it.
Hmm.
And yeah, one thing that got a lot of attention on my own channel that I'm really proud of. If okay, you like Animus effects, you like stuff, you
I
probably
love
like
present
nice
day. I
edits.
love cyberpunk stuff. Yeah.
Sick. So the parkour montage video that I did for the mod when like Henry was officially releasing its like next big update is filled with just a couple of cool like loading screens and like a lot of like sound design that I did and like
Is it this one?
mixing and yeah, this one. I think this is like a really good intro into what the mod can do in a trailer like sense.
Oh, I remember this. I think you had me like look at this.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. God, I love this.
I'm glad.
Oh, yes. Yes, dude. Uses one of my favorite tracks from the whole series too, The Brotherhood Escapes.
Base Brotherhood escapes enjoyer.
Yes. Like, additional data stream detected. Attempting recovery. Dude, yes, man. Yes, yes. I love Assassin's Creed. Like, when I say yes, like, when I say I love Assassin's Creed, I don't just mean, like, I love historical. I mean, I love Assassin's Creed. Like,
Yup.
I love present day. I love the first civilization. I love Assassin's Creed.
And just an empty screen
Yes.
in the form of a mic drop, but visually.
I love it so much.
Oh man. Imagine being like someone who has never heard of the mod before.
And then
seeing
seeing that. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
It's like an overload of like stuff happening that's modded and like synergizing with the rest of the game constantly over and over again. Like every 2 seconds there's a new clip on average because I tempo matched. Oh my god. It was such a blast making it as well. And a pain as well. It was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. I don't know what else I could like bring up. We've gone through like so much in a slightly disjointed manner because like ADHD brain and stream of thoughts don't really synergize too well with one another. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. Like, if you want to just end it here, because we covered a lot, we had a good time. I think people will really
Well, yeah.
enjoy listening to our conversation. Thank you for spending some time with me, hanging out, having a chat about Assassin's Creed, movement, and just, the ways and reasons we love the series. Really appreciate your being here.
And I mean, thank you for like having me on here. Thank you for just I'm really happy with the chat we had, and I'm really happy with all of the topics we got to kind of delve into. I think we went through a lot of very important stuff,
I
and
think so
I'm really
too.
glad it's like getting out there and having a bit of a voice as well.
Yeah, I hope people listen to it. I hope they appreciate it because we said some things that also matter to me, and
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
people take it seriously because it's important.
really is.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for hanging out, and hope you all who listened to this had a good time as well, just as we did. And yeah, peace.
Hell yeah, peace.